We're with head men's lacrosse coach Justin Axel. Eastern Connecticut closing in on its season opener February 25th at Gordon College. Justin, this is your fifth season, but technically this is like your first group that everybody on the field was fully recruited by you. That's got to be a good feeling.
Oh, it's a great feeling, and over the last few years, we've been fortunate that we've had a great group of upperclassmen that have really bought into our system, bought into our philosophies, and have helped mold that tradition of what we're looking for within our program to help kind of shape future years for us. So that has kind of sped up the process a little bit for some of our incoming freshmen and classes and things like that.
Justin, talking to you last week, you seemed really excited about this group. You had a great fall season in terms of doing well in your scrimmages, had a couple of great scrimmages earlier this year. You talked a lot about using words like, this team has a sense of urgency, it's fearless, it won't back down. Expand on that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I think this team has, I think there's a lot of people counting this team out from time to time, just because of the losses in the senior class that we had last year. However, this team really just does an excellent job with all those kind of X-factor intangibles. The heart, the sense of urgency. They play with hunger. That I think a lot of things, those factors get overrated a lot of times. This team is dangerous when they're hitting on all 8 cylinders. They're capable of beating anybody, as we saw in the fall, and we saw as we competed this in our first few scrimmages. And we're really excited about the makeup of this team and the intangibles that they have.
You talk about the intangibles, and that's really, you can coach till you're blue in the face, but you can't develop that. You can't really develop that team chemistry, can you? It's there or it's not.
Correct, and that all comes back to recruiting. It's really doing our research and finding the right kid, finding the kids that have the right work ethic, and the prospective student athletes that really, know how to push themselves, know how to do things in a positive manner, and really know how to get to that next level. Buying into our philosophy that we want young men that want to get better, and as they understand that and they understand what it takes to become great, some of our fellow All-Americans in previous years have done, they can now become those next level players a little bit quicker.
Well, this is your 5th year. Been here 4 years. You've won over 70% of your games. You won a couple Little East championships. You went to the NCAA tournament with that great win over Merchant Marine Academy. Before you took the job, if you said after 4 years, this is where I am, this is where the program is right now, would you be satisfied?
I don't know if I'm ever going to be satisfied. I think the student athletes have done an excellent job on and off the field. And what I think, as far as the program standpoint, I'm very proud of where they're at as far as their work ethic, their commitment to the game, their passion for the game, and everything that they do both on and off the field. From a wins and loss standpoint, we could be 15-2, and we still want more. It's tough to set that because I don't think there's ever going to be a stage until we're playing on Memorial Day weekend that we can actually say that we may be satisfied.
If you had to look at one moment, one game, would it be maybe that NCAA win, that overtime win over Merchant Marine?
Absolutely, and that goes back. We talk a lot about that game and that season, and in 2 quick years, the team went from having a losing record to having one of the most successful seasons in program history. And we talk about that. That all came from hard work and getting into the weight room, hitting the wall, doing all the extra things before and after practice. And now that they saw that good hard work usually produces good results, it's really allowed our guys to see firsthand that this is what it takes to be successful, and if that's where we want to be, or if we want to go further, that it's going to take that kind of effort, if not more of an effort.
Well, you guys, let's talk a little bit about this year, Justin. You got 22 letter winners back, 5 seniors, but you lost about 3/4 of your starting lineup. Let's look at each position sort of and we'll talk about who you lost and just sort of like capsulize that position for us. If we look at midfield, 2 key positions, midfield and goalie. If you look at midfield, you lost Eric Vazel. What can we see for this year without Eric Vazel?
Well, Eric Vazel was a special player, 2-time All-American, 80% win percentage at the face-off X. I don't think there is a replacement for Eric Vazel. Josh Dubinsky's taken over his job and has surpassed all of our expectations. He has competed against great competition, and he has gotten the full confidence of our coaching coaching staff that he's going to do an excellent job. As he's a very scrappy player, he works hard, and he's very determined to be that next guy.
How about some of your other midfielders? I know you lost. I mean, you have back Salou Bolivar at midfield. What else about that position? Just describe that position a little bit with what you got back.
I think we're extremely deep in the middle of the field. In fact, we were in our coaches meeting last night. We were discussing, how are we going to get some of the guys onto the field again? We've got, Mike Devine, Tyler Fresen, Trevor Morstead, who's going to play both midfield and attack for us this year. Those guys all returned. They were second-line midfielders, but they put together, I think, 60 to 70 points combined as all freshmen last year, which was great to see. Now that they have all that game experience coming back as sophomores, they're really going to be leaders of our offense. Salou Bolivar has been an excellent, player for us for a number of years. Mark Vincent is an excellent offensive player as well. And then we've got a few converted attackmen that are going to be, some good, solid midfielders for us this year as well, because they've worked so hard, and we have to find some time for them somewhere.
Well, at the attack, you lost Grant Albertson, you lost Vinny Tornatore. You got Mike Solinger back. Talk about that position.
The attack, losing Vinny and losing Grant, they were great goal scorers. I think what we also have this year is I think we have a very dynamic attack. The addition of Christian Leone, Mike Solinger returning, and then Jeremy Cagliano on the crease, who played a lot of time last year, and then Trevor Morstead back down in his natural position. We have four guys that aren't necessarily one-dimensional. We have a lot of guys that can dodge the pole. We have a lot of guys who can feed, they can see the field, they can finish, and they can shoot from the outside. So even though we lost some great players down at attack, I think we're a little more multi-dimensional with that position this year than we have been since I've gotten here.
Will you have a true crease attackman like you had in Vinny?
Jeremy does an excellent job on the crease, but again, he's not a guy that, can't carry the ball against a long stick. So I think he does an excellent job in being more than just a crease guy. He can finish in tight. He does a great job moving off ball, but at the same time, you can't short stick and can't shut him off because he's got great speed.
How about on defense? I know you were saying when we talked last week that the offense was a little bit ahead of the defense. You lost Ryan Schneelock. Nick Stube might be hurt. You got Ryan, and you've lost Ryan Leary as well. Ryan Leary as well. Yes. So is that a rebuilding area?
Yes and no. I mean, losing Ryan Schneelock and losing Sean Leary. Yeah. They were very big pieces of the defense. Vocally and physically, they were excellent guys. At the same time, we've had a great addition. Having Merrick Smith back from ACL surgery is going to be a big addition. And Travis Tiger, who's a freshman for us, should see some time as a mix. And then we've also had some other guys develop really well. Jordan Munsell as a long stick midfielder. Mike Fanning as a long stick midfielder. They've taken their game to the next level so that they've filled those holes for us very well. My biggest concern coming in was our team defense. And honestly, after what we've seen so far, that's the least of our concerns. They've done an excellent job gelling. They've done an excellent job communicating, and they do an excellent job with our slide packages right now.
Well, what is the status of Nick Stu?
Nick's been cleared to start lifting and doing some light work, and his timetable is anywhere from a few weeks to we'll kind of have to wait and see. But having him back will obviously add some great depth to our defense.
Justin, let's talk about the goal position. It's so important. You lost your goalie from the last couple of years. Is this Jamie Tomlin's year?
Yes, absolutely. And, for anyone, if there was any doubts, anyone who saw the Marist scrimmage saw that we finally were able to see him play to his full potential. He was absolutely amazing in that scrimmage, and if he can play at that level, the entire year, it's going to be a great season. He made all the saves he was supposed to, and then probably made about 7 or 8 that he had no business making. So, and I think just for him, that playing at that level, and now having that confidence, we've seen it now out of him every day in practice, and we're really excited with him at the goalie position.
And you've got 5 goalies, right? So there's going to be some competition?
Oh, absolutely. Drew Dean, who's been, a reserve for us, has done an excellent job. He continues to get better and better every day. One of the most competitive people on our team. And then John Capitacasa, who's a freshman for us. He's a lefty goalie, and he makes a lot of saves that you just don't think are ever going to be saved. And he's got probably the quickest hands on the team, and he's got a lot of potential down the road too.
You got an exciting schedule this year. As a coach, you have not played Endicott, you have not played Widener, and you have Wesleyan and Amherst back. That's going to be a tough schedule, non-conference.
Oh, absolutely. This is without a doubt our toughest schedule between those 4 games, and then also having Stevens Tech. You know, we've got 4 or 5 teams in the top 20 that we're definitely going to be battle tested come conference time, and you know it would be great to knock off a few of those teams and get ourselves in the national poll. But at the same time, it goes back to our philosophy that we have to play a tough schedule if we want to be competitive within our conference. So seeing those tough teams early on makes us a better team in April.
Justin, last question. The Little East poll came out preseason. Keene State number 1, Eastern number 2. And you better start with a fairly close number 3. Any surprise there?
No, Keene returns a lot off of last year's team, and they beat us in the conference championship. I think it's good coming in at 2. When you're at 1, sometimes there's a bullseye on you, and I think being number 2 keeps you a little bit hungrier. So, our guys take that to heart, and remind them of that from time to time in practice, and it's good for them to kind of play with a chip on their shoulder. So it's something that we kind of enjoy.
It's always easier to be the underdog in some senses. You know what I mean? So everyone's not gunning for you.
Oh, absolutely.
So Eastern Connecticut opens up on Saturday, February 25th. They're going to be at Gordon. That's a 2 o'clock start. They'll play 3 away games before opening up at home on Tuesday, March 13th, hosting Babson at 4 o'clock. Justin, thanks for your time and good luck this season.
Thank you, Bob.